All right, welcome everybody to our next episode of the CBSI Star Wars Comic Show. And this week we are looking at our favorite Marvel incentive variants. Like these are books that are just affordable. I just have to say they're affordable right now. These are books you should be looking to buy right now. I got Mike Morello with me this week again. Ben C down below. And we're going to just share our favorite books. So please like, subscribe, hit that alert button, and make sure you don't miss any of the content we got coming. And just hang on for a second. We'll be right back with the books. All right, so with our first book, it's going to be my pick. And my pick, I'm looking at the 1 in 25 first for Star Wars number 4. This is the original 2015 run. This is the first Sana Starros, if I'm saying her name right, who is the wife of Han Solo. And it's a character, we can see she's, throughout the comics. And I don't know if she'll ever show up on screen, but I still kind of like it. And this 1 in 25 it's ratio or lower, really, for the 1 in 25. It could be because there's a 1 in 100 that's a little bit pricier, but even this goes for under ratio at times. Right now, all the asks are above that, but the copies that actually sell usually sell for under that 1 in 100 ratio. I'm not talking about grade. I'm talking about raw. Like graded's a whole another beast, so we're not going to get into that. But both books are good if you can find them. I just don't think it's easy for everybody to find a 1 in 100. So the 1 in 25 is the book that I'm looking at as something that's it's still out there, still pretty cheap. I think the copy just sold for like $13 like a few weeks ago. So I mean, I don't know. It's a cheap buy-in. It's an interesting character that I could see, continuing on in the Star Wars mythos personally.
I like it, and I like it for a couple of reasons. I like it because it's one of those books. Well, first of all, I think we should say this. In the Star Wars collecting universe, selling for ratio is out the window. Mm-hmm. Because Star Wars completists just want the damn book. They don't care if it was a 1 in 25, a 1 in 100, a 1 in 25 billion. They don't care what it was. They want one. So I mean, they sell for, I think it's one of the few places in the entire hobby where it's all about supply and demand. It has nothing to do with what prices people set on eBay. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with the fact that there are this many Star Wars fans and there are only this many copies and they all want one and they're going to buy it, whether it's $13 or $1,300, somebody's going to buy one. So, I mean, I think that any first appearance in a variant is a good choice, especially if you're kind of under that, like you said, like, well, you're zigging while everyone else is zagging, right? If other people are looking at that 1 in 100, you're like, haha, I got you on the 1 in 25, and now they're all gone. So I think there's a cool little game to be played there. I think it's a really smart buy.
I think I love this book because she is in the current Afra series. She is tied closely to Afra. Christ. Just look back and remember that Peter told you, get ready with this book, man.
Yep.
Get ready. This, and honestly, I really like the second print.
Oh, the second print. Yeah, the second print is a good one too.
But I also like somebody else's book that is next.
Yeah. But also, pay attention. There's a GameStop too for this number 4. There's 2 GameStop covers that are both pretty cool, but the Empire one it sells for a ton. It's like $100 book if you can find it. It's gorgeous cover, by the way, gorgeous, but not easy to find. But the Rebel side is like cheap for whatever reason. Anyway,
speaking of not easy to find,
yeah, our man, the pansexual.
Okay, yes. So. Now, I love this particular cover. This is the Lando Double or Nothing series. This is the one that focuses on young Lando. We're getting a show. Donald Glover is nothing short of maybe the most captivating male on the planet at the moment. I don't even know how else to put it. That Solo movie should have been the Lando movie with Han Solo as a cameo rather than the other way around, in my opinion. Just because he's such a captivating actor, I think this show is going to be fantastic. And I think as soon as a trailer pops up, people are going to be like, oh, we should maybe go get the Donald Glover comics, not the old, Billy D ones. And these are the ones that have some really under-the-radar variants. The print runs on this were relatively small for a Star Wars book. You had I'm ignoring number 1 because the print run was larger on that. But 2, 3, 4, and 5 of this series were anywhere between 27,000 copies and 22,000 copies, which means the 1 in 25s You're talking right around 1,000 copies, assuming every shop ordered 10 or every shop ordered 25, which of course we know is not the case. So let's say somewhere between 5 and 750 copies of each of these out there. And they just don't pop up very often. I really like the number 2 from an art perspective. That's Cameron Stewart. This number 3, so that's the Cameron Stewart one. I love that cover. I think it's fantastic. It's not the most sought after one. We're going to get to that. The Jamal Campbell, which is this number 3, is super dope too. I like that. Really, really nice cover. The number 4 is David Nakayama, who's a really hot artist at the moment. That's this one here. This one might be the worst of the 4, but it's still really cool. Even saying it's the worst is kind of a misnomer because it's still awesome. And then the one that actually has caught on just a little bit is the number 5. It's the Brian Stelfreeze, and it's also awesome. My 2 favorites here are the 2 and the 5. I think they're the best looking covers of the 2 or of the 4 of them. This one you're not going to maybe find cheap anymore. You could have maybe a month or 2 ago. I still think this is a cheap buy-in, even at $100-$150, which is where this is right now. I think people are going to be kicking themselves down the road for not paying up for this right now. But the other ones are all still in like the $50 range, which is dirt cheap for a really good, hard to find Star Wars variant. So I'm in for all 4 of these. I think Glover's awesome. I think the show's going to be dope. I think these are going to be the covers everyone's going to want, especially the 2 and the 5.
I think the first time I saw the 5, Van Denby back whenever pointed it out.
Yeah.
And it was because it was, this is how ridiculous and how far we've come in comics. It was one of the few Star Wars variants going for ratio with potential to go higher. Like,
yep.
Oh, ratio.
And it's just, I don't know. I think you're spot on. I kind of like the 2. I like the 4. I'll say it. What up, DNA?
I love DNA.
Hey, yeah, totally.
But I think you're spot on with the 5. I think you're spot on with the 5 Morello on both the, just that it's a gorgeous cover, and I think you're spot on about where it's headed. Like, $100 on variants, everybody knows. Sometimes it's a scratch ticket. Star Wars, you're kind of hedging your bets, right, man? Like, the fuck? There you go.
I don't think you're ever going to lose money on it. I mean, I think if you bought in at $100 today, you're not going to. It's never going to go below that. I think you might sit at that, but I really don't think so on this book. I think it's going to be one of those. I mean, if you're talking about 800-ish at most, 800 copies of this out there, it's one of the few non-photo covers for Donald Glover Lando.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what else you go after. If you're not going after these 4 covers, what are you looking for?
The number 1. Which brings us to my pick.
Print run's way bigger.
Because I picked the number 1.
Well, and the number 1's great too. I mean, there's 2. I think there's 2 variants for number 1, right? A 1 in 10 and a 1 in 25. Is that right?
Oh, I don't know.
There's like 2 movie variants for that because they really love showing off Troy from Community because Donald Glover is fantastic.
But I think aren't they both photo covers? I think the variants for number 1 are both photo covers.
There is a 1 in 25 that's not a photo cover, but
okay.
But there are 2 photo covers. I don't know if they're both 1 in 10s or if one's like just a beat cover and one's a 1 in 10. But there are 2 photo covers for number 1. They're both Donald Glover. Kind of.
I mean, hell, buy the whole damn series. Really, it's also a good read.
Yeah, but as your point is that number 1 was printed higher than the rest. That your better play is the 2 through 5 because we're not talking about first appearances with these. We're talking about just appreciating the rarity of the books and the art of the books. So
exactly
that's why we're looking at 2 through 5. But Ben's is pretty cool. I love this cover.
I love it too.
Man, it's just a hard to find book. Like, all pump, no dump. Like, it's just all, I mean, everything about this cover works. As soon as we get Afro, we all know what happens. People go looking for the outside. People are going to go looking for that Ashley Whittier 1 in 50, I think it was.
Yeah.
But this 1 in 25, it's not out there. I think the ask price is a lot like Lando. It's $100 book right now, and I don't know. Maybe that's these aren't out there, right? Like, yes, it's a Star Wars number 1, but you'd see them if there were more out there.
Incentives aren't the same as regular copies. Like, you just don't see them in your regular shops. Like, you're not going to see multiples. Like, how many copies did your shop order? They order 100. That means they had 4. Like, so
They
are
were
they
at
still
10.
there 5 years later? Probably not.
I don't know any shop that ordered 25 copies of this in my area. Not one single shop had this.
No, that higher price tag on the Marvel books does it sometimes as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Pushes back
That's
that
true.
variant purchase or variant threshold.
What was cover on this? $5.99, $4.99,
I think it was, yeah.
$5.99.
$6.
Yeah. So that helps it out a lot.
Yeah, I love this cover, but there was still a 1 in 50 just for informational purposes. There was a 1 in 50 as well.
Which is also
I
a
had
cool
never
cover.
seen this before. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's dope. I like that
Love
a lot.
it, love it, love it.
Yeah, you get that Superstar Destroyer in the background. It's pretty cool.
So, all right, before we get out of here, we just want to thank everyone for sticking with us and getting through it. Sub the channel, hit that like button, check us out on comicbookinvest.com, and until next time.
May the force be with you.